In training camp. That was crazy. Anyway, good to see everybody. Last month since we last talked, I thought we had a really good training camp, great competition. It was physical, I think, as you all saw. We got after it pretty good. I was really pleased with not only the effort, but the intensity day to day of what we went through. Of course, always tough decisions when you're coming to the final cut down, and I don't ever take that lightly. Players that, they've been here for 5-6 months, some of them longer, a couple years, and you got to say, goodbye to them. That's not always easy to do. But it's also part of the game, and I think everybody understands that. I think one of the things, and I talked with our coaching staff about this before we made the cuts, was like, hey, let's make sure that when we do this, every player understands why. Okay, here's the reasoning. All right, here's the things you need to get better at. Because a lot of times it's just like, hey, you're out the door, see you later, thanks for your time. No, just wanted to make sure that we were pretty explicit in what we, told each guy, hey, these are the reasons why. Most of them had a good idea already, but it also gives them a way to improve. Feel good about the team, feel good about where we're at. We'll still work through the roster as we, based on injuries and things that happen, but excited about the team, excited about the roster. Unfortunate that we lost a couple guys. Freeland's injury at tackle, he was really taking a big step in year 3. Losing Hunter and Wally, that was a blow, which, caused us to have to make some other moves. They were coming along. I mean, both of them are going to be excellent football players in this league. I think all of you saw the progress both of those guys were making, and both kind of like, Wally, I had to keep watching the tape over and over again when he did his, his ACL, and kind of the same thing with Hunter with his foot, but that's just part of the game. You have injuries and you gotta find a way to find answers. Okay, they're not always, perfect, but you find answers and guys you think you can win with. And we think, and I give my staff a lot of credit for working extremely hard, making sure we had names, making sure we were constantly active and looking for players. But feel good about where we're at, where we're going. Fire away.
Since you guys named Daniel starter, have you found it necessary, or have you talked to AR about his future here, how he fits in, or not?
I've not had a lot of talks with AR, but I've had a lot of talks with his agent. Coaching staff handles, they talk to Anthony a bunch. I mean, I've talked to Anthony. Because the one thing I think is getting overshadowed a little bit is Daniel. Because I let both of them competed, professional, battled to the end, and at the end of the day, Daniel, won the job. Does that mean we're down on Anthony? No, but I don't want to, dismiss that. Daniel he's had a good run here. It reminds me a lot of Alex Smith that we had in Kansas City, who I thought was just the ultimate professional. Day in and day out, the team knew exactly what they were getting, and I feel that's kind of the same thing with Daniel. So, I know the story's always been about Anthony, but also let's don't lose sight of, Daniel did some good things, and he's been a really good professional. He's been through a lot. And then going to Anthony, like, I know the negativity, and it's easy to say, okay, he's done, and I don't agree. I've said this numerous times. I do not agree with that. I think overcoming challenges and obstacles along the way are good for anybody. I do. I'm proud of Anthony, of where he's at, how far he's come. He's come miles. I mean, I want you to think back, and it's tough on any young quarterback in this league, but for him to keep taking the growth steps that he has, and to work so hard, and then not get the goal for himself, all right, now to continue to do that, that's when we got a chance to see real growth. And there's some value, there's a lot of value in sitting behind a guy that's a professional and watching and learning and growing and working on the things you need to work on without the same pressure of being the starter. There's a lot of good to that.
One quick follow-up. When you made the move, has anyone contacted you about trading, get him in a trade?
Yeah, no, but we're not trading him.
Chris, you talked about Anthony and him having to go through things. What is like the long-term plan for him, and how clearly can you lay that out for someone who a couple years ago was the number 4 pick in the draft and now has been put on the bench for the second time?
Yeah, and that's a fair question. But what I would tell you is, like, everybody's growth and path and journey in this league is different. Okay, they are. And they're not always, I wish I could draw a straight line from A to B and say, this is the thing, this is how it's going to go. Okay, we're going to start here and we're going to end up here. Well, we all know that's not life. That's not real life. And it's the same thing with Anthony. Like, there's up and down, and there you see growth, and then there's some moments where you say, okay, we need to get better at that. So I think following Daniel and watching him work, and if he continues with the growth that he's had, like, Anthony's been good. He has, and he's made tremendous strides. Is he there yet? No. But does he have work to do? Yes. And Anthony will acknowledge that. Like, I'm really proud of I mean, it's like one of the fun parts of this job is watching guys just start to really mature. And I know everybody thinks that a 20, 21, 22-year-old young man should be a grown man, all right, in everything they do. But that's not the case in any world. With anything you're doing in life, like, these are young people and it takes some time. So to watch him grow and to continue to mature and then to handle the adversity, like, there's 2 ways you can handle this. Like, you can go in the dumps or you can accept the challenge and accept the challenge to keep getting better, be prepared, continue to work on your fundamentals, continue to work on the daily game planning that has to happen as a quarterback, to collaborate with the other quarterbacks in your game planning, and then being ready to go because you're 1 snap away. That's real. That is real. And that's a natural development. I know you want me to sit here and give you an A to B plan. Look, it's about daily, everyday work and doing it without the pressure of being the starter. And saying all of that, we're getting lost again. Like, Daniel's done a lot of good things. I mean, y'all saw the practice. He did some good things, and he's a good player, and he's an ultimate professional, and he's a consistent player day in and day out.
So along those lines, why do you all think you can have a successful season with Daniel Jones when I asked Shane Steichen, okay, what things do you lean on and you look at for this guy to believe in him, and he goes back to 2022, that was 3 years ago.
Yeah, I mean, like, I'm not going to 2022. I'm going to what we've seen since he's been here.
I guess, again, yeah, can you explain what things have you seen to give you that confidence that he can be a winning quarterback?
His ability to run the offense, to get him out of good and bad plays, to know the checks, just the things that most veteran quarterbacks can do, and to make sure that we're continually moving the chains. That consistency is a good thing. And look, he has some explosive ability in him too, and I think we saw that in the preseason.
The quarterback decision is the quarterback decision, right? It's made. But the one thing I would ask you is the idea that Anthony can grow more in year 3 on the sideline does not make any sense to me. Can you explain that?
Yeah, I think and I think I explained it earlier. I don't know if you were listening. You're a good listener too, but I think there's times when, yeah, oh yeah. I mean, you got your question, your loaded up question that you want to answer. So that's what y'all don't listen to what I said before. I think it is good for young players, especially at the quarterback position, if they're not completely ready to sit back without the pressure of daily pressure of having to perform. Now, the pressure's still there because he's 1 play away, but it's much different it's much different. I just think the little intricacies that they can learn by doing the backup role can serve them well, because he's still serving the start. Let's don't forget that backup role still serving the starter, okay? And that's different. That's different, and it's different for Anthony. It's an area that, he's embraced, and it's been fun to watch so far, and it would be fun to watch as we go forward.
Chris, do you feel like he needs more growth off the field or on?
He's a good kid. Like, I don't worry about. I think with any young person, like any young player on our team, when they come in the building, you would hope that they're ready-made, ready to go professionals in every aspect of both in the building and out of the building. But like I said earlier, young men take time to grow. They just do. They have to learn and grow. And I think he's done a really good job managing all the expectations, not only externally, but internally. And I think he's growing in that area.
So Chris, looking at AR's time with the franchise, at first you all were saying we should probably start him, and you did, and then you benched him last year, and then 2 weeks later you put him back in the starting lineup, and then now, he's taking a step back again. So with so much flip-flopping in a matter of months, why should people believe in the plan you have now for him versus the plan you all previously had?
Well, I don't quite, so you're really good asking questions, because you always get to why should people believe. I don't know how to answer why should people believe. Like, I think you know the answer. They believe when you win. If you don't, they don't believe. Like, it wouldn't matter who was a quarterback. They wouldn't believe. If you didn't win, they're not going to believe. If you win, they give you a little more benefit of the doubt, and then y'all help put doubt to make sure there's questions being asked. That's the only way I know how to answer that one. I don't know what you want me to say.
So how does winning affect your ability to believe?
I think it affects everybody. I mean, I think everybody, like, winning is, and look, you can win sometimes and not deserve it, and lose sometimes and deserve to win. That's the nature of sports. But I think anytime you get over the hump and get to the goal you're trying to reach, there's a confidence level in everybody. And look, we had it going pretty good there for a while. And, at the end of 21, we kind of started going down this road where, I don't want to say we've lost our confidence, but we've not been able to finish things out seasons like we need to. And that's something we think we're going to improve on.
Anthony's past performance and availability, for sure, is kind of what brought us to
Yep.
the two-quarterback situation, right? Daniel's recent past performance is not great, at least on paper, statistically. How much are you examining that part of it, and is there any possibility of overlooking any of that?
I mean, look, I just examined what we watched over the last few months, okay? And that's it. I don't want to overcomplicate that any more than it is. I'm not going to get into, but there's examples of guys that have had rough starts to their careers and have absolutely bounced back and had good careers. And there's examples of guys who've been benched who come back and play. So that we just judge what we have right now. We do have like 51 other guys on the team. Do we have any other questions on the team? I mean, you can keep spinning this other one as many ways as you want, but we do have 51 other teams. Absolutely. And look, let me say this. They deserve to ask these questions. And look, I understand the doubt. I get it. And that's our job to go prove it at the end of the day. It's a long season. And, things are good and bad. You have good moments and bad moments. But like I said before, like when you win, it sure helps a lot of those issues.
Chris, you said previously that you regret having played Anthony right away. Were you pressured by ownership to put him out there?
No, don't. Come on, Bob. No, not at all. We made the decision. You learn sometimes with decisions that didn't go the way you wish they would have gone. And so, but no, there was no pressure. No.
I feel like
did enough or maybe the right homework on Anthony coming out of Florida?
No, we knew. We knew he was wrong. We knew it was going to take time. I think everybody knew. Yeah, I think we knew. And we knew it was going to be a little bit of a roller coaster. Absolutely. I mean, just his history in college. And so that's just part of the growth. No, sometimes you got to take a swing. We took a swing. And look, I'm not ready to say that we missed, because I don't think we have yet. I think Anthony has a bright future. I believe that. Anything else?
Yeah, I've got just to break the trend. What has gone on is going on with the cornerback room. It's just night and day who's in there.
Yeah, so, I mean, all of a sudden you lose Wally, who we were really excited about. Juju, poor kid's just had bad luck. He's a great young man. He's very talented. He's just had some bad luck. I'm hoping for him, maybe a change of scenery, and he'll get it turned around where he can stay healthy. But we just, going into it, we knew we needed, to go, when we made we went and got Mooney, we thought that was a really good signing and gave us a true, number one corner that has a proven track record. And then when Wally went down, and then all of a sudden Jones is down, Juju's down, we're like, okay, what? We got to start finding some answers here. We had Lou had a history with Xavier. I actually worked Xavier out in college when I was with the Chiefs, and we were really high on Xavier, and he has a proven track record of being a good player. I know the year out, he hadn't played, but I think that might have ended up being good for his body because he's looked really good. And then the move for Blackman in Minnesota was something we'd kind of been playing with over the last 3 or 4 weeks with Minnesota, and feel fortunate to get him because we think he can play a few different roles. He can play both inside and outside. He's a good cover guy. He's aggressive. So we're excited about getting him and that depth. And then getting Jones, we'll get Jones back here up and running, and I still believe in Jones. I think Jones can be a really good player. And then Edwards was, from Tulane, who was undrafted. Man, I think he did a lot of really good things this preseason. He's big, he's a good athlete, he can run, he's conscientious, he's tough. Like, there's a lot of great qualities that I think Edwards has. So, yes, there has been significant change in that room. Some based on injuries from where we started, some based on, look, we knew we needed to get better. We knew we needed to get better there.
What are you getting with Muma, the guy you got from Jacksonville?
Who?
Chad Muma,
Chet Muma?
Jacksonville, linebacker.
Oh, we claimed him. We got him. Okay, here we go. News to me. I'm glad I just got, good job. I mean, y'all, Twitter is unbelievable. It is the news source. Now, look, we knew we kept 4, knew we wanted to add, another guy. We're still going to bring some other guys in. It's different than it was in the past, because in the past we usually kept 6 and dressed 6 in the schemes we were in before, but now, a little differently where, he'll play some dime, so we're really only playing with a Mike and a Will. But Muma's, we liked him coming out.
He's a Will.
He could play probably both Will and Mike. He's good on teams. We liked him coming out of Wyoming. He's had some experience playing, so that's good. Good, I'm excited. I don't get to be, but excited to find out we got him.
Where do you view like positions of strength, either side of the ball for you right now?
I think we're really good up front. I think we're going to be really good up front on both sides of the ball. I think our wideout room is really good. We had to make some cuts there that I thought were pretty tough. I thought Treadwell, I love Treadwell. Think of this. The guy's, over 30 years old, former first-round pick, competes his ass off every day. But it's a good room. It really, it's an excellent room. It's like when you think in terms of like a basketball team, you've kind of got all the elements that you want when you're building a basketball team. You got a big man in Pitt who can win, both short, intermediate, and down the field with his size. You have Pierce who can stretch it. You have a young player in A.D. Mitchell who we think's, got big upside that, can create off after the catch. You got Josh Downs who I think is just tremendous. And then you got, Anthony Gould, who's coming on, and then, Mr. Reliable Doolin, who every time we put him in the game, he catches the ball and does well and is great on teams. So it's an excellent room, and every of them kind of have a niched out role. But I do like the strength. I like our tight end room a lot. I mean,
Fresh at all, or is this what you?
he's pretty good. We thought he was going to be pretty good. And we think he's going to be a really good pro. I don't want to put undue expectations on him, but he's pretty freaking good.
Sorry. Did you really not know about the claim guide until someone told you in here?
No, I just found out. You told me. Good. I knew we put it in. I just didn't know I didn't know we got him.
Did you put in any other claims?
No. No. That was a good one, though. That was good. That's good.
Your offensive line depth, are you, obviously you mentioned Freeland, that was a hit. Jalen's young.
Yeah.
What do you think there?
Oh, look, I think Jalen Travis is going to be excellent. I do. He is big. Now, that's one that I'm not going to say surprised me, but he's come along faster than I thought he would. And he's a much better athlete. I thought he was a decent athlete, but he's a much better athlete. You ought to watch him in there skipping rope in the weight room. It's impressive for a 340-pound guy. I like where Tucker's at. Tucker's really come along. Being an undrafted guy a year ago, having to get thrown in the mix and start some games, and he had some struggles, but bounced back from that. I'm excited about him. I was excited when we actually put him in there at center, and he looked pretty good. Danny Pinner was dealing with a knee kind of all of camp, but we've got it calmed down. He does. So, we've played good football with Danny, and then keeping Tenuta, who, we claimed him a few years back, and then he kind of bounced around, and then ability to get him back and his ability to play both left and right tackle. So, yeah, I feel pretty good about our depth there.
Is there anything going on with Mike Hilton or not?
Let me just say this. We're going to explore guys right now. We're going to explore vets. You're going to see it over the next 10 days. You're going to see it over the next month. We're going to bring guys in. That's what we do. We're going to kick the tires, make sure that we have a list of guys that if we have to go to, we can go to them.
How much pressure do you, I guess, pressure, responsibility, whatever, do you personally feel going into year 9, and I guess knowing that in a way you made another big decision to go with Daniel Jones and I guess roll with that and going into a year where things could change?
I don't know. I think y'all all know me well enough that I care deeply about this organization and city, okay? The fans, the way they treat you, they're great. Now I got a few emails that were nasty, but I always wonder if that's from what basement is some dude writing that from. But saying that, I just don't roll that way. I never have. I never rolled that way where I worry about, what the future holds. I'm fortunate to work in the National Football League. I've always been grateful. And I will never take one day for granted, whatever the role. This is a unique place. I could have to go get a real job for a living. That would suck. That would really suck. So no pressure in that way. No.
In your combos with Carly, how would you define success this upcoming season?
Winning. We always do. We're accomplishing our goals. We all know. I don't think I've ever shied away from the fact that we haven't been good enough. I never shied away from that. And she doesn't either. She's just competitive. Both of them are. It's not just Carly, but so is Kaylin and so is Casey. They're competitive. I think that's the one thing about Jim that I really loved was, God, he was competitive, wanted to win. They got the same gene. Success is winning. I think we all would agree with that. Success is not losing, it's winning. So that's what the goal is.
Last one here.
What gives you confidence in AR going back to the bench and learning and taking things, I guess, slow when just historically, and correct me if I'm wrong, I tried to go back and find, when's the last time a quarterback of this caliber or just drafted this high was benched twice this early, like, it just hasn't worked with that team. So what gives you confidence that it can still work here when we just haven't seen it? At least I haven't seen it.
Yeah, Alex Smith went through some struggles and had success in San Francisco. He did, took him to the playoffs, and got hurt, and Cap ended up coming in. But there's been example, at least one. I don't know. I just feel like the progress he's making, if he continues down this road, we're going to be able to see that talent come to light. I just, like, there's always got to be one time, right? So why not him? And I do believe that. His progress has been good. Like, you're going to ask doubting questions the whole time, James. I get it. And I understand why. But at the end of the day, time is what, like, I can sit over and give you every answer you want, okay? But at the end of the day, time is what proves you're right or wrong, and your actions and how it plays out.
You think he could be a franchise quarterback still?
I think it's sure in him. I do. I think it's in him. Whether that happens or not, we'll see. But I do think that's in him.
Did your breakfast club done yet or not?
No, is it already on Twitter?
So,